Hi, I'm Taylor Lyons. I'm an actress. Thank you so much for watching.
So welcome back everyone to another incredible episode of Chat with Dad. For today, what can I say? You know, we have here the incredible, amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary Taylor. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. You are definitely the one who's been more times here on the show.
Cool.
You're the
Well,
yeah.
thanks for having me on all the time.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for accepting all the time. I love this. Now if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. The most important, go follow Taylor right now. So what you could do actually is go pause here, follow her, make her viral, hashtag Team Taylor, and then come back. And without further more, let's jump in. So Taylor, my first question: what's new? What's up?
I've recently been doing a lot of voiceover work. I can't really
Oh, you know.
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but I'm excited about it. So that's been a cool recent development that's been picking up a lot more. So
That is
yeah.
incredible. That is incredible. Amazing. I love it. Now, moving on here, I have a couple of questions and we'll see what happens. So, the first question I got for you is, can you share a particular movie that inspired you to pursue acting as a career?
Well, okay. It's I remember distinctly watching A Child Star, the Shirley Temple story when I was a
Mm,
kid. It was
that was a
about
good one.
yeah, like Shirley Temple's life and how she started acting and how she just wanted to make people happy and smile during like their troubled times. And that's really when I got super inspired to pursue the same career.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So, how do you incorporate the inspiration you receive from your favorite films into your own performances?
I guess that's like um ooh, I guess striving for excellence, I
Mm,
enjoy films that are well done and then I try to be the best that I can be in everything. And then if I without being obnoxious about it, if somebody um has something that they need help with, I try to help and be like, "Oh, we could improve upon it like
yeah.
this," but only if I'm asked.
Mhm.
Or if yeah, yeah, yeah.
So only if you're asked. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I have stepped out and been like, "Oh, continuity type thing," but
Mm.
that's the only time.
I love it. I like that. I like that. Now, which film or character challenged your perception of acting and influenced you to think outside the box?
Well, I guess the Alien Project, that was completely different because they wanted me to be stone cold, emotionless, and I'm a very expressive person.
Mm,
So that was very different. In
mm,
fact, the audition that I sent in, it's like I had like no emotion or whatever, but they still said my eyes were emoting too much. And I was like, oh, okay, I thought I was doing nothing. And then I got the ultimate compliment on the videos. Like, you're not supposed to read the comments from people's reviews. And they
mm.
were just like, she's so emotionless. And I was like, but they were saying it as a negative. And I was like, I did my job. That is what they wanted. Thank you. Thank you for that. But yeah, I was like, cool. So that was different. Um, I guess a character that's been um I guess, Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Wolf of Wall Street, he was just so, when he was climbing down the steps, so liquid
Oh
like.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was just so like loose and like free. That was really like, I don't know, really inspiring, I guess.
Mm.
Him. And then there's another actress that I met recently. She's super cool. She does mostly commercials, but she's so funny. She's just hilarious. Her name's Becky Joe Harris. You should get her on this show too. She's so funny. She's like her got to see some of her auditions and then what they turned into, and I'm just like, wow. So it's just
Mm.
so quirky and like out there, So
Mm-hmm.
those are all things that I'm like they're all completely different characters. So like you have Leonardo DiCaprio that's all like whoa, and that's starkly different from like his character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Revenant, and Titanic, of course. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then Becky's just really funny and quirky and like she's just out there. And I was like, wow. And then it's like a deadpan thing. So just trying to like I really enjoy seeing diversity in people performances and stuff like that. And that makes me want to further commit to choices and impulses that I have in auditions and performances to the best of my ability.
Okay, okay. Now, is there a film or a performance that you look back to either find inspiration when you're feeling stuck or unmotivated?
It wasn't necessarily a performance. I mean, it's the live action Disney Cinderella.
Okay.
At the beginning of the movie, they talk about having courage and being kind. And it kind of goes along with that, kind of morphed into my personal motto of everything always works out better than expected. Because it does. And as long as you're like, the whole point of her telling the mom telling Cinderella to have courage and be kind is so that she's always trying to be a good person and make good choices and not
Mm,
trying to hurt anybody. And it's like, as long as you live your life like that, trying to be the best person that you can, something doesn't work out. You're going to look back and see, oh, if that had worked out, then I wouldn't have done all these other things that I wanted to do. So,
yeah.
yeah, like I just heard a story about the guy who invented Little Caesars. He wanted to be a pro baseball player. He got injured and then his career ended. And he started working at a pizza place. And then everybody enjoyed his pizza better than everybody else's. And he opened up Little Caesars, and everybody knows Little Caesars. Um, yup.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
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 things
that's
like
a good
that.
stuff. Yeah, they're really cool. I mean, they can get you out of this, out of any situation. You know, who doesn't love pizza? So
Yeah.
and they're cheap. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, yeah. I do think also that as long as you stay honest, you know, with yourself, and you are not looking, and you are just looking to improve you, like your own path, and not try to look on other people's path. You know, that's when
Yeah.
things tend to get better. You know.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Comparison is the thief of all joy. That's one phrase that's really important to remember. It's like, because everybody's on their own journey. And it's like, as long as you're trying to focus on being the best you can be and being helpful to people or like trying to be a good influence, then yeah.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah, be on service. I like that. I like that. That's really cool. Now, what do you think, Taylor, is the biggest misconception about actors that people have?
Oh, I guess that they're like snooty and kind of ditzy. I mean, there are some people like that, but it's not the whole,
Like
you know,
capricious, you mean?
capricious. Oh, I know that word, but I
Yeah,
can't say
capricious.
maybe. In the movies where they have like actors, they all play super vain characters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you're like you watch a movie and there's an actor character, and it's like they're not all super vain. A lot of
Yeah.
people are really chill. I think one misconception that most actors have about each other is that everybody's cutthroat and trying to, be competitive. And it's like if the part's meant for you, you're going to get it. And it's like if you're not right for the part, like it doesn't matter if you're the best actor in the world. It's like if the casting director has a specific vision in their head of what they want the character to be and you don't fit that perfectly, you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to get it. So it's like it doesn't matter. Like I went to an audition room and there were like 10 other girls that looked like me, taller than me, shorter than me, younger than me, older than me. And I was like, this is weird. I'd never been there. It freaked me out. I was like,
Yeah.
we're all competing. And it's like, but no, we're not. It's like, I could be too short. They could be too tall. It's like something in my face could remind somebody of an ex-girlfriend, something like that. And then
Yeah.
it's like, it doesn't matter. Something just kind of like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was basically like an episode from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. 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 That's true. That's true. Yeah.
That's
It
so
was.
funny.
Yeah.
That's
So
so funny.
but it's like that's what I think a lot of actors they get really competitive with each other for no reason. And it's like
Mm.
we're all in the same boat. And it's like they're like, well, I can one up it. Oh yeah, well, you're in this project. Well, I was in this project type thing. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, let's just be friends.
My next question here is how you continue to challenge yourself as an actor.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean,
I love that.
I guess auditions come in, do them.
Hmm.
I guess a friend of mine and I were having a conversation about outside pursuits, um, outside of acting and stuff. That kind of helps you develop more life skills.
Okay.
Um, yeah, when I first started doing, I guess training or whatever, somebody told me I didn't have enough life experience in order to really um play certain characters well. And I was like, what about imagination? Duh. But it's like she was right because I didn't um everybody said based off my previous performances
Yeah.
to my performances after a certain traumatic my father passed away, and after that it's like they said that um there was more depth to my performances after that. And I was like, well, that sucks. I was like, great. But it's like every event that happens in your life is kind of like what everything that happens in your life is ultimately shaping you for things that happen in your future, if
Mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it
Like if,
does. Hmm. Hmm.
mhm.
Yeah, I do.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I do think that that what was I gonna say? Ah, I forgot. No, no, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I do think that during your whole life, those type of situations, like all of those moments, they will be changing you. They're like shaping you into the person that at some point you're meant to be. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But because I mean, at that point, you don't know of it, and you don't know what the hell is going on. Of course, I mean that's totally understandable. But if you stay like honest to it and keep following your own path, I do think that sometimes I mean, at least that's how I see it. That those moments are shaping you into something for to something greater for the future.
mhm,
But it's up to you, of course, to take it or not moving forward. Because one of the things that I've seen is that I mean, time passed, right? And if you don't move along with time, time is gonna
mhm,
move, and then you're gonna leave behind. And that's even
exactly.
horrible when you try to catch up all of like yeah when you try to catch up time, it's impossible. So the best thing here that I will try to repeat myself is to to stay calm because it's meant for something. It's gonna be. I mean, you get the chance, and I think that is like the whole beauty of life that you get to choose where to go and you get to be wherever you want to be and do whatever you want to do with the things you have in your um in your plate. I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of like once you let go of what other people think, because that's like the biggest thing.
Mm.
It's like you're people aren't really afraid of failing, they're afraid of failing in front of other people. It's like, and the only reason they worry about that is because they care so much about what other people think,
Yeah.
like their approval and stuff. And it's like you don't really need that random person on Facebook's approval, you know?
Yeah, totally. And most of the time people who criticize you or people who send you like hate stuff, and things like that is usually the people who first of all they're not doing it the same thing as you do. And the second, they don't even know what you're talking about. They don't try it. So that's the other day I was yeah, someone told me that the other day that usually the people who is like that to you is because they don't know they are not doing anything with their lives and they're too busy spending their time on you instead of spending their time on them working on them and become a better version to themselves, which I do think that happens a lot, so
Yeah, I think it's a mix of that and then the people who do care, but they're criticizing you anyway, it's because they think if somebody's happy with their life,
mm,
then they think more often than not, not everyone, of course, but they think that the way they're living life and the choices they made are what everybody should do. So, I know I have that with some family members, like, well, I did this and I did that, and I'm very happy with my life. You should look into doing this instead of what you're doing. And it's like, I'm glad you're happy with your life, but I don't think I would be if I did those same things.
yeah,
They're
that's
like,
true.
"Mm,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true. I mean, of course, that they don't mean it in a bad way, but at the end of the day, it's how they were raised, you know. Like yeah, the other day, I spoke with with a friend of mine, and we were talking about that, because he wants to start into the whole streaming world, you know, the whole Twitch and things like that. And I was like, that's pretty cool, why don't you do it? I was like, yeah, but you know what, I'm the other day, because he got fired from his place, he was like, you know, I got fired, and I told my parents that I'm gonna start this career, and they told me that was like the worst mistake ever. And I was like, why don't you try it? You know, go for it. You know, you can find a side job to pay bills, of course, and on the free time you can spend it on your Twitch career and see what happens. You know, perhaps
Yeah.
it's not gonna take you to some place big, but if you enjoy it, it could be a nice hobby. And just because it's a hobby, that doesn't mean that it has to become in a way of living. You know what I mean? Which I do think that
Mhm.
sometimes people is like, oh, if you're good at something, they will be like, why don't you start this as a career? And I would say, yeah, but it's my hobby, you know. So, and I
Mm.
want to keep it that way. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. When I start new things, I don't like to tell people about it because I'm like, I want to figure out if I enjoy doing it
yeah,
or if I'm good at it,
mm,
so I keep it pretty private. And then I gradually tell people, "Oh, hey, I'm working on this or I'm trying this new thing." And like, "Oh, wow, cool." So, I think I've become a more increasingly like when I try things out, I used to be like, "I'm trying this out," like on social media. And then it's
yeah,
like if I didn't like it or something like that, then I felt like, "Oh, I have to keep up with it because I told everybody I was doing it. I don't want people thinking I'm a quitter," you know? But now I'm all like, "I'm just gonna keep it to myself, and then when I'm ready to share it with people, then I'll let everybody know." But
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
yeah, because
yeah,
then
one,
that way, it's like, you don't have outside like, your friend with Twitch, whatever. It's like, if he just started it, like, in his free time, it's like maybe he could have like gained more confidence, followers or whatever, and then been
totally.
like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing." Like, "Oh wow, that's cool. Good job," you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That's the thing here. That's the thing. I mean, I remember when I started this platform 2 years ago now. Um, I got into this idea that, yeah, I'm gonna share everything, you know, and post stuff about this and do that and all of that, and like following the whole influencer path, you know, and to like in every video be like super excited, you know, and be like, whoa, you know, like you were on cocaine, you know, things like that. But I just didn't, you know, it just wasn't me. I mean, I did try it, but it just wasn't me, and I was like, why am I even trying to be someone that I'm not? You know,
Mhm.
at some point, I mean, it would be hilarious that if at some point this become, you know, this hits, and then people wants to see that version of me, which is not the real me. At some point, I'm gonna hate my own success, and that's gonna be horrible. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do think that at the end of the day, it's your path and it's your way. And if you want to try, and if you want to try something, go for it. But of course, be prepared that starting out something, it takes to be a huge pain in the butt, a
Mhm.
huge pain in the butt, and there's gonna be moments in which you're gonna be wanted to quit. But if you're already doing it, why not just trying and see where it takes you? You know what I mean? So
Exactly. Yeah. I'm a big believer in if it costs you money to get started, at least make that amount of money back. And then you can
yeah,
stop.
no, yeah,
That's me.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The other day I was having like this thoughts like I'm gonna quit. You know, I'm done. I'm tired and all of that. But then I was like, wait a minute. I've spent money in cameras, microphone, cables, laptop, lights. No, I want to see my invest back, and then perhaps I'm gonna quit, but only until I
Yeah.
see that, you know, I mean, I have spent like a lot of money and time to it. So until that
Mhm.
moment comes, then I'll be like, okay, now I got my whole investment back. Okay, then I'll see what happens next. But yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, it's easy to quit, right? I mean, and I hate that usually the for example, being like positive and optimistic and happy all the time is like the hardest job ever, and being negative, pessimistic, and angry all the time is like the easiest thing ever, you know? And the same thing happens when you're doing something new. Quitting it's easy, but at the end of the day, I mean, that is like one thing that I try to remind myself every single day to be like, I already have the worst outcome, which is nothing. Why not just keep trying and trying and trying, and then and at least at some point, I mean, and if you're enjoying it, go for it. You know,
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
you know, yeah. Anyway, moving on here a little bit because we rant a little bit about this topic. Tell me, you know what? Yeah, let's switch here. So check this out. I got here the list of the top 10. Actually, it's top 50. But anyway, we will just pick some films here and there. But my point here is I got here the list of the most epic films of all time. All right? I'm gonna give you the names, Ermin. And then
Okay.
if you agree on it, sure. If not, let's debate here and see which film could be on that place instead. Sounds good?
Mhm.
All right. So at number one, it's The Shawshank Redemption. Have you watched that film?
No,
Okay.
but
Actually
that's
pretty.
number one. I haven't heard too many people say great things. Like they're like, oh yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's from 1994.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's in top one. This is by the way, this is from the IMDb top.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So you need to watch that film.
Okay.
I did watch it, and yes, I mean I loved it. It's a really cool film. But to put it on number one, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there's more engaging and like again, I haven't seen it, but that's just because people have been like, "Oh yeah, it's a good movie, you should watch it." But it was never described as, "Oh, you have to see it."
Hmm.
Like everybody freaks out about The Godfather, which I enjoyed The Godfather, but
What would
yeah,
you put in number one?
I do not know. I have to think about that for a long time.
Sounds yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
I was like, maybe we could shuffle around the top 10 and be like, I feel like this one fits more.
Actually, the number two is The Godfather.
Okay, there we go. Then maybe that should have been put up
On
because
on
it's like crazy. I mean, the whole like conniving and like planning and stuff, and like you're really surprised at the end when all that. I'm
mm,
not gonna spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but because there's still a lot of people who haven't seen it. I
yeah,
was
it's
like, whoa,
crazy. It's crazy.
yeah, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, my first two films ever back when I was a kid were Saving Private Ryan and The Godfather. That were like my two films when I like the first two films that I watched back when I was a kid, and I didn't understand any of it, of course. But later on, when you get older, and then I watched them back, and I was like, oh, especially The Godfather, because The Saving Private Ryan is pretty straightforward. I mean, but The Godfather has like a bunch of details here and there that once you're older, you get the chance to pick up and be like, oh, okay, so I get it. So yeah, I would put that two on number one. You know, I
Yeah.
would agree on that. Yeah, let's go for that number one. That one. Now for the next one here, we got the Dark Knight. Should we leave it
Oh,
on three or would you move it? What do you think?
I think it's really good. I'd probably keep it right there, right now.
On three.
Hmm.
Okay, fair enough. We got at number four, The Godfather Part Two.
No,
Where would you put it? Number.
further down.
I would go for Godfather One to put it at first place, and then second place I would put Godfather Part Two.
Interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I personally do not like watching
Sequels.
heroes become villains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just me though. That's my personal
No, no,
taste
no, yeah,
preference.
yeah, 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 yeah. I get it, I get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, you can for me, it's like um if I ask somebody, "Hey, what's your favorite Godfather?" and they say one, you're like, "Okay." They say two, I'm like, "Oh, well, okay."
We're gonna have a problem. And what about the third one?
Well, not a problem. I mean, I haven't met anybody who said the third one's their favorite.
Yeah, me
Although
neither.
I saw the director's cut and that was more enjoyable than the original cut. It had more depth and symbolism. I was like, "Wow, that's beautiful."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like, the director's cut of Godfather Part 3, yeah, that I thought was pretty good
Yeah, yeah,
than the first one. The
yeah.
first release.
Definitely that one. I mean, the thing that impacted me the most, or it got me like actually tear up a little bit, is how well Al Pacino made it into the final. I mean, I'm gonna throw a spoiler here. I'm sorry, but into the whole, in the ending. So the daughter gets killed, and then the whole acting he puts in. into the whole, yeah, like that scene, it really got me like a little bit teared up because I was like, that's crazy how well, I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but he went all in for it, like that scene that he just remained quiet, like in shock, and then he started like really crying and screaming and things like that. And you're like, oh wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of like really beautiful symbolism with like that whole scene at the end. It's like there's the woman with the shawl,
Yeah,
there's one with the
mm-hmm.
shawl in the play, and then there's a shawl at the end. I was just like, wow. But like there's things like that all throughout that movie. Like really nice symbolism, artistically
Yeah.
done. Um, yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed parts of it. I thought it did get a little campy at some moments,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
you
it's like the worst movie ever.
no, but I do think that it's one of those films that if you're doing something, put that film on it. So you can just be
Yeah.
watching every now and then and just be doing, keep doing your own thing, just turn between takes here and there. I think it's one of
Yeah.
those films. And I wonder like how the whole vibe on set was, when they were like doing like all of that. And that is like one of the things on my bucket list that at some point I need to be on a movie set. I mean, not to act. I just want to see what the fuss is about. I want to see like the whole magic behind it. Nobody's gonna know that I'm there. I mean, I'll be a total ghost, but I want to see how everything goes there because from all of the actors that I've interviewed, all of them tells me that being on set is like Disneyland. It's like the happiest place in the world at the moment. I'm like, that's so cool. You know?
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now moving on here. So we got here. So okay, so we will put number one, The Godfather. So we agree on that. And then at number two, we're gonna put what, The Dark Knight or Shawshank Redemption or The Godfather Part Two. What would you put?
I guess my personal taste preference would put Dark Knight as number two because I haven't seen Shawshank and Godfather Part Two. I feel like should be a little bit further down, even though
Okay.
people are like, "Oh my gosh!" I feel like maybe it's four or five.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now the next one would be 12 Angry Men.
I have not seen that either.
Me neither. So we're gonna move that away. The next one is The Schindler List.
Haven't seen that either.
I saw that one, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, on me, like my list would be at the moment would be Godfather one, and then The Dark Knight on two, Schindler List. I'm gonna put it on three. Four, I'm gonna put The Shawshank Redemption. 12 Angry Men. I don't know, so we'll see. Now the next one. I mean, you have seen this absolutely. The Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, but I wouldn't. I guess maybe like six. Well, maybe four.
Hmm.
Four.
Four.
I mean, I wouldn't call it great. I mean, it was beautiful and
The last one
cool.
was the best, right? The Return of the
Yeah,
King. I do think
that
that
one
that
was
is
really
like
good.
that's like the best. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna put that one on. Oh, this is
Oh, does it
difficult.
have it as the trilogy or is it just
Mm-hmm.
the first one?
No,
Oh, well
it's a
then yeah.
trilogy.
I thought
Yeah.
it was just the first one. I was like, the first one?
Now the first one I didn't quite like it, to be honest. I didn't quite like it a lot. The second one I
Which
did
one?
enjoy it, but the third one, oh, and on HBO they have like the extended version. Oh, it's amazing. They had like
Yeah.
so much content, and I'm like, why they removed that? That was really, they should have just leave it there,
They
you
only
know?
have enough time to sit in a theater. I don't think most people would stay in the theater that long. It's not like, way back when where they'd have intermission and stuff.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish.
that's true. I
Yeah.
mean, but right now, I mean, if they put like, I mean, we are seeing films right now that they are 3 hours long, or things like that. So they could have done that on the beginning. But yeah. So then definitely the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King would go on four for me at least,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is Pulp Fiction. Did you watch it?
I did. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that one.
Where will you put it?
So one would be Godfather one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess two would be Dark Knight. For me, three would be Pulp Fiction, and then four would be Lord of the Rings.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. The first one. No, I'm gonna put that one on. No, I'm gonna remove that one from the list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. Forrest Gump.
I did not care for that.
No?
No. I think it was hyped up too much for me, and I was kind of like, eh.
Mm,
So
I mean,
that's just me.
no, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did. To me, it has like a really special place because that film was the one I remember that. I mean, that film is related to a story that it was. So it was Christmas, and I got like this huge this that had a lot of presents that year. And while I was just checking on my presents, the toys and everything, and having fun, Forrest Gump was on TV, and I just sit there and watched it, and I loved it. And of course, when I watched that film, it takes me back to that time, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool. So that's why,
Yeah,
at least to me, it's like super important, let's say. But that's just me. So.
totally. I totally understand that. Yeah, it was my grandmother's favorite movie. But yeah, I was like, it had some fun parts, but I wouldn't, for me personally, I wouldn't put it up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the next one we have the Fight Club.
Oh, yeah, that was good. It was dark at the end, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it has like the
I'll put
most.
that.
I do think that film has one of the most epic plot twists of all time.
Yeah, I put that a solid 5, maybe 6.
Okay,
Got to hear the
five,
rest of
six. Okay.
the. Yeah.
The next one is The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
No, I did not like that one with the
Okay.
spider. Mm-mm.
You hate spiders, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, that's horrible. The next one we got here, Inception. What do you think?
Oh, we're gonna show some family that movie tonight because they haven't seen it. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I keep that at 6.
What do you think at the ending? Was it real or not? This is a huge debate.
Okay, yeah.
What do you
I don't
think?
think.
You think that he was not real? That he
Yeah,
was still, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the same thing here. That he was not. I mean, and you could tell that it wasn't real because of the whole how they were telling you how things go on the whole dream stuff and things like that. You know what I mean?
It was sad. I was like,
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
leave it like that. We'll leave it like that. The next one we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I haven't seen that. I don't. Yeah, the animation style
Hmm,
not my jam.
not
It's a
your
little
thing.
too chaotic for me, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah, too much
My
colors, too much things going on at the same time. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. So I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna remove the animated ones, superhero stuff like that. So the next one we will have the Matrix.
Oh, that was. I put that above Inception.
Oh,
So 6. Inception
mm,
7.
mm-hmm. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
No,
What
I
about
might make it. I put that above Fight Club. So it'd be 5. Fight Club be 6. Inception 7.
7? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the whole trilogy or just the first one and that was it?
I enjoyed the whole trilogy. The first one was the best one for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the newest one, Reloaded. Is that what's Revolution?
Mm-hmm.
Revolution.
Yeah, but
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
Yeah, I heard I probably wouldn't be a fan of it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wasn't too much of a fan of the Matrix, but yeah,
What?
yeah, no. I was like, why? you know like you could have created something else, or if you wanted
Elon
it.
Musk says we're living in a matrix.
Yeah, I mean, you can create a story on that universe to something
Mhm.
different, and that would be interesting. But the fact that you're going to take something really cool and then transform it into something completely weird, and yeah, no, it didn't cut it. I mean, at least to me, I was like, no, this is a huge waste of my time, and I felt bad for it. I was like, okay, come on. So
It's fine.
yeah. But yeah, the first one I loved it, and the second one. I do think that those two were like my favorite ones. The third one, I did enjoy it too, but at least to me, yeah, the first one, the second one has to be on top for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Plus, it's Keanu Reeves, you know. So
Yeah, excellent.
absolutely. The next one here, we got Goodfellas. What do you think?
I have never seen that.
I did watch a little bit of it, and then I watched years past, and then I watched the other part of the film. You know what I mean? So I watched
Mhm.
half of it one time, and then years passed, and then I watched the rest of the film. You know, the other. So I mean,
It's
it
a
was.
mafia movie, right?
It's a
Yeah,
cool one, but yeah, at least to me, not really my thing. You know, so not my jam.
yeah.
So we're gonna skip that one instead. Okay, so we got here the next one, The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, I didn't care for that. Well, it's a serial killer movie. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
creepy. I was like, put it down. That
Yep.
was one of those movies that I was like half. It was on TV and I was halfway paying attention.
Mm,
So maybe if I focused on it, I would have liked it better. I mean, I think Anthony Hopkins is fantastic, but
absolutely,
those parts,
absolutely, absolutely. So,
yeah.
so let's just put that film away, right? Let's just not put it.
Mhm.
Okay. The next one we have here is Life is Beautiful.
I I don't think I've heard of that.
It's a film from 1997. It's from um, I did have watched it, but I'm okay. So the film is based on a guy. What was it again? Yeah. So it's a World War II movie basically. Um, so it's a family and they separate them to they separate them to concentration camps, and then the father and the son, they separate them from the mom, and then basically the father is doing the best as he can to make sure that his kid doesn't know that he is in a concentration camp, and it's more like a competition, like a game or something like that. So he tried really hard to make sure that his kid doesn't see like the raw side of the war, and
Uh-huh.
how like the whole cruelty and things like that. So he makes sure that during the whole film, the key his son sees it as something fun, let's say, like something that he will not affect him or something like that. I mean, it's a really cool film.
Yeah, that sounds really good, interesting. I just saw Empire of the Sun recently with Christian Bale when he was
Hmm.
a kid. Fantastic.
Yeah,
He was awesome. I mean, yeah, I'd put that up there,
yeah, for
but
sure,
yeah,
for sure, for sure. The next one we got here on the list is The Green Mile. What do you think?
I haven't seen that
Okay, we're gonna skip that one. Oh, okay, this is unexpected. Oppenheimer.
either. Oh, I haven't seen that. We're supposed to watch that tonight. Okay, no spoilers.
No spoilers. So the next one we have here is oh yeah, Whiplash.
Have not seen it. So I get kind of like, those hipster moods where if something's overhyped, I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
So
that
that
makes
was
sense.
me.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
sister was going on and on about it, and I was like, "No, I don't want to see it."
yeah,
But
that's
now it's
true.
streaming, so
But now that you mentioned that, it's true. That film is in this whole hipster era.
hmm
Hmm.
yeah.
When they were
So
releasing really like yeah, when they were releasing films like that, and some of them were really good. But yeah, I get it. I get it.
yeah.
Now the next one. Oh, okay, the next one we have here is Casablanca.
I have not seen that yet. I really want to. I have this whole like DVD box set with like party things in it. So you can have a Casablanca party.
Yeah.
It was a gift. And then I got to go see the setup for it at the oh crap, what is it called? The Academy Museum in Los
Hmm.
Angeles.
Hmm.
Or like it looks really cool, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that either.
I think
And
that was number one for a long time on IMDb.
yeah, I think that was too. And there's a lot of, like most for some actors I've interviewed, they will mention that film, and I'll be like, ah, crap, I don't even know what to say because I haven't seen that film. So I'll be like,
Yeah, here's looking at you, kid.
mm-hmm. I'm like,
That's all I want.
I need to, and I'm like, please don't ask me anything about the film. Please don't ask me anything about the film. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, but I need
Black
to
and
watch.
white.
I need to watch that for sure. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Black
Yeah.
and white, 1942,
But yeah,
right? That's it.
I know where Casablanca is.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So, Right. The next one we got here is okay, Wally.
No,
Right.
no, that's way down.
Where,
No,
where will you put it?
not even in the top 100 for
That bad.
me.
That bad, huh?
I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't think it was great.
Do you
It
think
was
that
good.
that people overreacted that film too much?
Yeah, I think Ratatouille is a million times better than that.
Oh, okay, okay,
Me, but again, I think this is a personal taste preference.
absolutely.
Maybe they're talking about like technical execution of things, and it's like okay.
Mm, mm.
I was
You
like,
know,
Book of Life is better.
absolutely.
Coco is better.
But
Which
my
Coco and Book of Life are the same,
yeah.
essentially.
But my jam would be always Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
That's like my
Yeah,
jam.
that should be better. That was a pioneer
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first animated stuff, right?
Yeah, Pixar. Yeah, it was started
Hmm.
by Steve Jobs. It's like
Hmm.
yeah, I think he got kicked out of Apple or something, and so
Yeah,
he's like,
like
you know what, I'm gonna make movies. And it's like, all right, Pixar. So,
yeah, yeah. But definitely that would be my jam, and perhaps Monsters Inc.
oh, Bug's Life. Bug's Life was
Oh yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that one for sure, for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
all the fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What about The Shining?
I mean, that was good.
But
I mean, I don't think I'd put it in my top 10, maybe
okay.
50, not number 50, but like in the top 50, 25, something like that. I mean, I've rewatched it a few times because I liked it. I've been in that bar where they filmed it.
You're kidding
Um,
me.
yeah, it's actually in Los Angeles,
Are you
at a Masonic
serious?
Lodge. Yeah, they filmed most of it at the hotel where they were, where they filmed everything. And then I think it was like in Montana or something like that. But they had to reshoot a lot of the bar scenes and they used a Masonic Lodge, not Mason, I'm sorry, not Mason, American Legion Lodge right there in Hollywood. So I ended up working I volunteered to work a TCM Film Festival event. And so I got to meet a lot of people. And one of the guys running the event, he gave me a private tour of the thing. So I was like, wow, that's
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
like
I came back down from Canada, and while we're on the way up there, we stopped through Maine and went to Stephen King's house. And the place that we were staying in Maine looked like the Shining place. In fact, when we walked into the room, it was playing like old music, and I was like, my sister and I were like, oh my god.
so this is
We're
where
like,
it
is this it?
so this is where it ends, right? Is this where
Yeah,
it
we're
ends?
like, my mom really enjoys she works with preschoolers a lot because she's a preschool teacher,
Yeah.
and she's like, she loves talking to kids. I'm like, mom, if you see twins, do not talk to them.
Mm.
She's like, what are you talking about? Because she's never seen the movie,
Yeah.
but we're like, just don't do it. She's like whatever.
Yeah, and then later on you went to the to the whole restaurant area and you see your mom talking to twins and be like, "Oh crap."
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
it
Yeah,
was
it's
crazy.
crazy.
I mean, it was pretty funny. Everything was like back to back. We're like, oh, Stephen King. But
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. Like those type of like whenever that happens, it's like whenever you relate a film with a life situation that is happening right now, it's pretty funny. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like for years back when I was a kid, I thought that my toys were actually come back to life, as Toy Story. So I would
Oh
be
yeah.
like, so I would be constantly saying, I mean, my parents told me that story the other day, that I'll be constantly saying like, I'm gonna leave my room and I'm not gonna come back until a few hours, and then I'll be just like moving slowly and then close the door, but I'll be just peeking, and then my father would ask me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to see if my toys come back to life. Which now that I'm thinking of, if that would actually come true up back then, I mean, that would have been horrible. you know,
Yeah.
that would have been like really horrible, like really
No,
sketchy.
I used yeah, no, I totally did the same thing. I mean, I wouldn't like say I was leaving, but I'd be like, I'd always turn my dolls away. I was
Mm,
like, don't look at me. I was like, Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think my yeah, like one of my aunts, she has this crazy dolls like from porcelain. Oh, it's like the worst experience ever to I mean, she's really nice and I love her, but go to her house, it's one of the worst experiences ever because she has dolls. I mean, right now she got cool with it, so she put them in a room, thank God. But back then she will have some of them out in the living room, some of them like near the kitchen, and it was horrible to go downstairs for a glass of water at 1 2 a.m. And going down, and then you turn the lights, and then you will see them like all standing, with their big eyes and things like that. That was really horrible experience. So
Yeah. That's crazy.
I hate those type of dolls.
Hmm.
Not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
Mm-hmm. The next one here is the Joker. The one with Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Well, that was good. I mean, maybe top 25. I wouldn't say top 10. I thought it was very good,
Mm.
but I think yeah, maybe like 15.
What about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
No, I did not like that movie.
Why?
It was very frustrating.
Okay.
I was like, no.
You know, I did watch it, but I don't remember of it, and I don't know why. I don't know if I don't remember because I don't want to remember or because it wasn't
I
something that
don't
I
remember.
did enjoy.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of major plot points for it. I just remember
Mm-hmm.
it giving me very frustrated feelings where I did not. I was like, I don't like that movie when I finished. I was like, no.
Okay, so the last two. So the next one would be Braveheart.
Love it.
You
Yeah, that's
did?
can stay. Yeah.
You're gonna hate me because I didn't watch it.
I don't hate you for that.
Thank you. I
I think you
appreciate it.
should watch it.
I'm gonna watch it for sure. I mean, I haven't. I don't know why. Yeah, definitely gonna be on the list because I've seen. I mean, I've heard like a lot of comments to it, and the funny thing is that whenever they would put like a reference to it on a film, I know it, but it's like
Mhm.
okay, but I haven't seen the film, but I know the reference, so that's make.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Scottish, so I'm like, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
French and Scottish, and those are two major characters in that whole thing. So I'm like, yes. In fact, I'm related to one of the guys. Like, it's based off historical people. It's fan fiction. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not historically accurate.
Hmm.
But one of the characters in there, I'm like, hey, I'm related to that dude. I was
Are you
like, wow.
serious?
Yeah. In
That's
the
so.
movie, he's not a really great guy, but he was a cool. They made another movie about him that was more historically accurate. It's Robert the Bruce or
Okay, and
whatever.
and it's related to you?
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, I was like, "What?" My uncle I have a half uncle, so he's my
Mm.
uncle, but he didn't know we existed for years because his my grandfather's first wife left him and then changed her name and wouldn't let him see the kids.
Mm.
So he had no idea that our side of the family existed. And so when he found us, he got all obsessed with ancestry. And he's like, "Did you
That's
know we're related to Robert the Bruce?" And I was like, "What? That's cool."
that's
Um,
so
I love Braveheart.
cool. Okay. So where
Yeah,
would you put that where would you put that on your list?
probably top 10
Oh, okay.
because I've seen it a million times too. So
Okay.
it
Very
gets a
good.
little slow at one point, but then it gets intense again.
Mm-hmm.
It's an
Mm-hmm.
intense movie, but it's kind of like one of those. It's a film about strategy and stuff like that,
Yeah.
passion and free, which that's a lot of Mel Gibson movies anyway. So
It was
like the
back on
Patriot.
it was back on his prime, right?
Uh, not his actor prime, but like his filmmaking. Like he
Hmm.
made that and The Patriot like pretty close together. Patriot's great too.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
I
know if
did watch that one. Yeah.
yeah, it's like on that level, just a different time period.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
In
All
fact,
right.
he didn't want. Oh, sorry.
No, no,
I was
no.
like, I got a lot of fun facts about it.
No, go for it.
Like,
Go for it.
'cause,
Shoot.
yeah,
Shoot them all. Shoot them all.
apparently Mel Gibson didn't want to play the main character, but they couldn't find somebody that fit it well enough. So he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do it."
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not Scottish, he's Australian. So,
Yeah,
and
okay.
yeah. So, anyways, that's all. That's my only fun fact right there.
But that's interesting. Yeah. And yeah, I wouldn't Yeah, if I mean, let's say that if I became an actor and then they offered me this role for a kind of a historic based on historic events, but it turns out that I'm not I mean that I'm like totally different country, culture, language, everything. I would be like, you know what, choose something who is from there, so
Well, I mean, not even that. It's like, but can you like truly portray it
that's the thing.
well enough?
That's
That's
the
his
thing.
thing. It's like he wanted a Scottish guy or somebody like that, but they couldn't find anyone at the time.
Yeah,
But some of the actors that they chose, there was this one guy, he plays a major character in that movie. He was a school teacher.
you're kidding
And
me.
then yeah, and then he heard they were having auditions for Braveheart and he was like, I'll audition. And then he got it. So he's a major character in that movie and now he's like an actor. So he was like middle-aged school teacher.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? Everybody's
That's
got a different life journey.
Yeah, and who knows,
Hmm.
That's
Exactly.
amazing. That's amazing. Now, for the last film we have here on this list is Gone with the Wind. I haven't
Oh, I
seen that
love
one.
that movie. What? That is one of the movies that you should see if you're a cinephile. That I know I should watch. I'm one to talk. I haven't seen Casablanca, but Gone with the Wind was one of like the first. Like it has like some breakthrough stuff in it. I know it gets a lot of flack because it's in the Civil War, but it's not. That's not the whole point of the story. It's about people's resilience and coming up from like the dirt and stuff. It's another one of those conniving, like there's conniving things happening in it. You should definitely watch it. It's long, but it has the first cuss word ever on a film.
Like long, how
Um,
long? Like long or
yeah, like it
Mm.
has an intermission.
Oh, okay. Like that
Yeah,
long
it's
we're
an old
talking
movie.
about. Okay.
Yeah, but the main character, she's fantastic.
Mm.
She's one of the so Shirley Temple was my first inspiration for like acting, but Vivian Lee was like somebody else. It's kind of like, oh, I want to be like you.
Mm.
And I was like, you're so intense. And she was just like, she has such they overworked her on that set too. She got
Yeah.
paid, she was the lead character. She was on set almost every single day, and she got paid way less than Clark Gable because well Clark Gable was a name, but he was there half not even you if you watch the movie, you can tell that he's not there nearly half as much, but he got paid twice as much as she did. And then they worked her you can like they overworked her because this was like her first major film role.
Mm.
And yeah, it's like when you're not in the game, like if you've never done anything before, you don't know what um boundaries you need to put up,
Yeah.
or negotiations you need to have. So I mean, the studios took advantage of that for her and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a really good movie. I mean, I grew up watching it, so yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. One of the things that I'm trying to do, that I've been trying to do, is to watch at least one movie a day.
yeah.
Just
That's a good
one.
way.
Just
You
one.
should watch that one today.
I'm
I'm
gonna watch
watching
that one.
Inception.
Yeah, yeah.
Inception or Oppenheimer. Yeah, it depends on what everybody's doing. We're either going to do Inception or Oppenheimer tonight, and then the other one tomorrow.
Or go crazy and both of them at the same time. Go
Yeah,
big.
at the same time. Yeah, I'll bring my phone to watch Inception while I'm watching Oppenheimer at the movies.
Yeah, you can be switching. You can be like switching between.
They both have Cillian Murphy in it. Same director, same thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what else? I mean, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait, it's Killian. I'm sorry, Killian Murphy, not Cillian.
Now, my last question here is check this out. If we could make a film out of the episode we just did right now, what would be the title of it?
I, dude, I'm not good at naming things. I was like,
Go for it. Take your time. Take your time.
whip works in progress.
What?
W- Works in progress?
Worked in progress?
Yeah.
Like that? Worked in progress?
Works in progress. Like we're both working on ourselves and progressing.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, because that's gonna be the title for this video.
Okay. Or
Mm.
questions of the day. Mm.
Question of the day. Okay.
Question of the day.
Questions. Oh, I got one. Questions of the day with Taylor.
That sounds good. Yeah.
All right. That's it. Because we have a title then.
Cool.
Expect that on the title.
Will do.
All right. So, I mean, I think what can I say, Taylor? I mean, we all know you're incredible and badass and super talented. I mean, you were definitely on my top people of all time because you're so cool. You're super friendly, but most important, you have an incredible vibe here. And yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm super sure that, and it's obvious, of course, that our next conversation is going to be about the multiple projects you've been in, and now the next game is going to be about which films that you've been on would put on your list.
Cool.
That's gonna happen for sure. I also want to thank those who watched this. Thank you so much for staying here the whole time. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know about your list. If you agree or not. If you would put like another film or things like that, let me know. But most important, on the description below, you're gonna find all of Taylor's social media. All right, as I've said it multiple times, let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Taylor. She's incredible. And again, keep killing it. Keep being this incredible, of amazing, of a badass, of a superstar, of a legendary person you always are. And hey, I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.